Fill her up.
You're listening to the GaS Digital Network.
Jorge,
What'd you think of the Carter 6?
More like the Carter sucks.
Oh, really? You weren't a fan?
What's that?
Shut up, white woman.
Come on.
Here's what I'll say.
I'm the host of this show.
The Carter.
What show is it?
It's GaS Digital now, the GaS Digital wrap-up show.
It sure
I'm
damn
Natalie.
is. And I'm Blind Mike, and I have the white boy puff on the side of my hair.
I like it. Mike's hair's looking good
makes me
today.
insecure.
Mike's hair's looking good today. I came in and I complimented his hair because it looks very clean and soft today. And he goes, "Really?" He's like, "I got the puff." I'm like, "I would not notice that." We hung out last weekend. Yeah. We hung out all weekend, which might not seem like news because we're a couple, but rarely do we spend the whole weekend together.
Yeah. Before we talk about that, the problem is the Carter 6. The Carter's already a concept. You can't put a concept out. You can't put a different concept into an already franchised concept album. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Like, if they did American Idiot 2, but then got experimental with it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Mike does these analogies for me all the time, and usually they're very patronizing and don't make any sense, and that just made a lot of sense to me.
It's like there's already a theme to it.
Right.
Like, you can't make an American Idiot ukulele album.
Right. Very true. That's about to be the album that you gave me.
But yeah, I mean, the bars were pretty good in the Carter 6, but it was a little...
You didn't agree with the roots, the concept.
Goofy. I guess... If he was trying to throw it back to like beats from the Carter 2, I guess I kind of see it, but whatever. It wasn't the worst. I'll say it was better than The Funeral. We can all agree it was better than Funeral by Lil Wayne. If you didn't know, I was talking about Lil Wayne.
I gathered. I figured it out. I know that he was at was it MSG?
Maybe.
He sold out a big arena for the first time.
Whoa.
This weekend. I know Sabrina and AJ were both there because they both came back wearing merch.
Hey, yo.
And
the other problem I had was the cover art makes him look like he has Down syndrome.
Oh.
For real.
Well, maybe this is like his coming out. He's like, surprised I have Down syndrome.
I wish that he could pull it up on the screen because it's very funny.
You could pull it up as like a little blurb, a little pop-up. This is GaS Digital now, the GaS Digital wrap-up show. We wrap up all of the... Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's just a baby.
You can't put an adult face.
No, that's just a baby.
They put his high adult face. It's the fact that he's high and they put...
Yeah, there it is for the audience. That's just a baby.
But he's high.
No, it's just a baby.
In the picture that... because it's his actual... It's the
I
thing
know,
that they did with
I
where
know.
they put the baby...
I get that.
The
I get that.
tattoos. And he's...
I get it.
On lean.
I understand. That just looks like a baby picture to me.
No, that's Down syndrome.
You cut me off on this show. We
Sorry.
talk about all the podcasts that came out on the network this week, GaS Digital Network.
And all the hip-hop albums.
And all the hip-hop albums that Mike has a lot of feelings about. This week we're talking about The Thing Is, Ding. We're talking about American Loser. We're talking about True Dat, new show, new to the network.
Ooh, yeah.
Mike has some stuff about Legion of Skanks.
Yes, sir.
I think we got one more in there that I'm forgetting
and
about.
the June Babies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, TTI. Yes, I said that already. And HSR, The Insurrection.
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
So, diving into it, let's talk about the weekend. Like you said,
Yeah.
It started out with us. We on Friday watched.
Oh, we watched Ocean's 11.
We watched Ocean's 11.
It was great. Jorge, do you have any feelings about Ocean's 11? Have you seen it? You seen this?
Yeah, I love the Oceans franchise.
It was. I had never seen. Neither of us had ever seen it. It was great. It was. There were a couple of. They were trying to suspend my disbelief a little bit too much at points, but it was very fun and very in your face. It's like, this is a movie. The cool guys win. I don't like that he ends up again with Julia Roberts at the end, though. I'm like, she divorced your ass. Why Why did
Here we
heisting
go.
why did heisting
Here
a
we
casino
go.
make her go, actually, I'm just kidding. I didn't like you because you were a loser and you got caught and went to jail. That's why I divorced you.
Because she can fix him, Natalie.
Obviously, if she thought she's his ex-wife.
You just don't believe in the power of women to fix men. That's actually anti-feminist of you. That you think she's incapable of correcting his behavior.
It was pretty fun. It was a fun experience. I liked it a lot.
I said that there were a lot of like movie tropes that I, even as a novice movie watcher, I clocked at 700 miles an hour. But Natalie was like,
I think it's
well, for the time
miles
they
away.
weren't.
Yeah, I don't know
tropes
if
yet.
I don't know if some of these. I'm sure they
Which
were.
I disagree with.
You may be right. I don't know enough about the entirety of movie history to say for sure if the kind of corny things that they did in this movie were hack by the time this movie came out, or if they've become hack in the 25 years since. I don't know. But they have the 3 movies on Netflix, so maybe we should watch the rest of them.
I would commit a heist with the GaS digital staff here.
Oof, I wouldn't. There's some people I would, some people I wouldn't.
The GaS Digital staff commits a heist every day.
Because they're high?
Yeah, man.
Nice. Very good.
Because we're stealing the fans' hearts.
Because we're stealing their money. Just kidding. It goes to us. It's not stealing. You're getting a service.
It's going to Jamaica. The
True.
country of Jamaica.
It is literally funding Jamaica. We didn't really do anything. Oh, we played carts on
Mario
Saturday.
Karts. We got to talk about Studio Lord Dom. He never gets any press.
Dom
I'll
never gets
say,
any press. You're right. Let's
on
talk
this
about Dom.
show.
I like that. Sorry to cut you off. That on American Loser, KP often is like, Dom, I think you'd like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did it once ever.
He did it twice on the episode I listened to today.
Dom has had a rough week with Christoph Jean and Luke Toma.
I was waiting for it. There it is.
So he ordered the new Switch. He
Okay.
pre-ordered the Switch 2 from Target,
Right.
and it's been in shipping hell
Yeah.
since. Even though other friends of his who had pre-ordered through Best Buy and Walmart already got theirs.
Got it. I
So
see.
he's like, why is it Target specifically that's, that has my thing stuck?
Right.
And he's been very upset about that because he just wants to play his new games.
Aw. That sucks.
And then also his mom does not cook very often, but asked him, hey, if I were to cook something tonight, what would you like? And he told her, like, I don't know, like a chicken and baked potato or something like that.
Sure.
And she was like, okay, sure. And then when she said dinner was ready, he comes downstairs and she's like, all you got to do is microwave it. And he did that. And then he goes into the kitchen, he sees there's bags of Taco Bell. And he's like, I would have just gotten the Taco Bell. If you were just going to get it anyway, why would you specifically go out of your way to make me boiled chicken?
That's funny.
Or
That's such
whatever.
a funny thing to be like, Dom's had a rough week. His toy is not here, and his mom made a weird meal one day. I thought you were going to be like, he's had a stressful week because the studio was packed and these people were conflicting and they showed up late and Lewis was angry and whatever. Like, this is like...
Well, this is the icing on all
as you
that
did to me
cake.
last week. Oh, your mom didn't get you Taco Bell. Where? It's like, you're not exactly painting a very good picture. I feel bad about the Switch thing, but like, come on. Why did you tell us that?
I don't know. I wanted to give Dom some press.
I like Dom. We'll get him some press next time when he's in studio on a Thursday.
Dom Digital.
We had a...
I didn't need
He's
to
my
share that.
boss.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm leaving it
Cut
in.
it all out.
No, I'm leaving it in.
Jorge, start the recording now.
My roommate's boyfriend got a Switch, and so the 4 of us were playing carts.
Yeah, the new John. And
The new John,
it's
the open world.
world.
It's open. I don't understand why it's open world. I guess I'm not into it enough to know how the game benefits from it. But they were playing with like the loading screen and stuff, and
You
just
can kill
exploring
hookers and
poking
take their
around.
money now.
Yeah, it looks kind of a lot like GTA, except Mario or whatever. I was the only one that survived the sudden death round. There's a sudden death round where like after one round, if you're not in the top 20, you die,
yeah.
and then if the top 16 and the top 10 or whatever. I was the only one out of the four of us that made it to the end.
Yeah, Nat was making the heats as opposed to when she's usually in heat because I'm hot.
Sure. And then Sunday, somewhat related to nerd culture.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to know what Jorge's Mario Kart character is.
Oh yeah, he's been wondering this about. He's been out loud going, "I bet this person likes this character." all weekend.
This guy back here likes Lakitu for sure.
Lakitu. You would like Lakitu. No, who's the guy with the mohawk? One of Bowser's like babies or something. You know what I'm talking
Babies.
about?
Yeah, I'm a Diddy Kong person.
Oh, that actually
No Diddy,
makes
no
sense.
Diddy.
That actually makes
He's
sense.
at the
to me,
freak
too.
off.
But you know the guy I'm talking about with the mohawk, right? That reminds me of Jorge, but Diddy Kong makes sense to me too.
Yo.
We were switching around. We were trying a bunch. I liked the bonefish and the cow.
Ooh.
Cow.
Oh yeah,
Cow.
cow and dolphin.
Her name is Cow, canonically. It was pretty fun. It was
Canonically.
great. It was great.
I enjoy piranha plant
Yeah, except you were sad that he was too heavy and was slowing you down.
and Rosalina.
I like Rosalina too. Yeah, that
But
no one needs to hear about.
Then
the rest of my
on
day.
Sunday, me and Natalie went to Liberty State Park and we got a good egg sandwich from Eggs Up.
Eggs Up. We went to Liberty State Park. We were like, Mike was working all day on Saturday. I was like, Sunday we're gonna enjoy some outside time together, and then I was gonna bring him home to Jersey City afterward. And we get to Liberty State Park, or we get to like a couple blocks away, and there's people. There's more people than I was expecting, even for a nice Sunday. And I realized that a bunch of them have these headbands that look like Pikachu or like themed Pokemon garb. And I'm like, that's weird. Why are all these Pokemon people here? And then we get to Liberty State Park and it's literally Pokemon Go Con
Yeah, there was
2025.
there was a lot of pocket protectors in Liberty State Park.
There
that
was
day.
a lot of people looking straight down at their phones with no spatial awareness. But I will
No
say, to
spatial
their credit,
awareness.
I
to
saw
be fair, a lot of them are Korean and Japanese, so they're used to crowded subways.
that's not even true. I saw kids that could barely walk, and I saw old ladies being pushed in wheelchairs playing Pokemon Go. It was pretty wholesome. And also, if there was nowhere for us to sit and eat breakfast, I would have been more pissed at them. But because it was Pokemon Go, they were all walking around. All the benches were free. So that was pretty nice. So we didn't conflict. We didn't have any conflict of interest with them.
I told Zach that we did that and how I was trouble seeing Lady Liberty, and he was like, "Yeah, you thought it was like a black lady sitting nearby."
True. To be fair, we were
A black. He said a black lady with a lighter.
That's funny. Too bad we were not that close to Lady Liberty.
Oh, I couldn't see it. That's what I was telling them. I was pointing at light poles, being like, "Is that her?"
Yeah, basically.
No, that's the Verrazano Bridge, Mike.
Right. You were like, is that the Verrazano Bridge? And I'm like, no, that's just a bridge that this walkway continues onto. Anyway, that was it. That was cute. It was very cute.
Yeah,
It was a beautiful day.
it was a great day. And I think that next year we got to be in that tournament.
No, I haven't played Pokemon Go since like 2017. I was very into it, as I think all my friends were when it popped off for the next couple summers. And then I realized that it was like just when they brought in like Gen 3 or 4, I went, I don't care anymore. It was also draining the shit out of my battery. Like just having to have it on all the
Yeah.
time was a nightmare. So
Cookies
cookies. And then I like the fact that
Cleared the cache.
they got sued because they were literally just using people
Geofarming.
The geofarming. They were just using people as drones to like survey an area, which is very funny and fitting, I think.
Yeah, I support that though. Make the dorks go to work.
True. Yeah, use
Put the
their
dorks to work.
Make them walk. Get them some exercise.
They gotta touch grass.
They do gotta touch grass, and this did make a lot of nerds touch grass. So there's that. Do you have any actual studio lore before we get into the shows?
An unrelated Dom lore.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Do you?
No, I was here on
Friday.
I was here on Monday and Tuesday, and that was it. I hung out. I was on Rebecca's podcast on Tuesday. So if anyone's looking out for the Bad Fanfiction podcast we read, if you're familiar, my mom sold me to One Direction, which as far as fanfic goes is probably one of the most famous ones. It's one of the only ones that I could name by name. So that was cool. And yeah, check me out on that.
I don't have any studio lore.
That's it. Let's get into the shows. I feel like the fact that TTI did a birthday episode is big news in the network. It was Shannon's birthday.
And Brendan Saglow's birthday. And
birthday.
Rob Yule's birthday. And the week previous, it was comic Mike Figs' birthday of Figs TV.
Figs TV. Fig Talk, etc.
And what I liked about what they did this time that they did not do in previous times was the grab bag. I thought that was a fun new element.
I liked that too. Go ahead.
I thought it was funny that Shannon didn't know what a tech deck was, and it angered me.
That's pretty funny.
What's a tech deck?
Tech deck. You use your fingers and you do.
Were you doing
a little trick? CKY. Yeah. 96 quite bitter beings.
I don't understand. You pretend like your
Open it up.
your fingers are legs. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's very cool. Don't.
What do you've lived
It's
under
a collector's
fucking...
item.
Because she was like, oh, what, you just put your fingers and pretend they're legs? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what you do. Because we are cool.
You're like, don't say it back to me exactly how it is and make it seem less fun.
She made it sound cooler, I think.
Did she? Not the way that you just did it.
Yeah. Legs? That's cool as fuck.
That is what it is.
Yeah, that's cool. She's jealous that she doesn't have the imagination that we have as men.
True. Yeah. It's so funny. This ties into something that I'm going to get to with American Loser later. But peek behind the curtain. He's not here to defend himself. I'm covering him for HSR later, so I'm going to call his ass out. Harrington calls me a couple hours before TTI and goes, we're about to do this secret drinking game. I got nothing for it. Help me come up with stuff.
Oh, that's nice. You got the few hours in advance. I got the 3 p.m. call.
Oh, I got a 2 p.m. call.
I got it at 3 p.m.
No, I got a 2 p.m. call.
Bruh.
Also, that means that mine weren't good enough, and he needed to get some from you also, probably. But at least one of mine made it in. I wrote down someone is disappointed by their gift, and I overheard that one, and I went, that one's mine.
That's a good one.
What did you do?
I like that one. So he also wanted me to do the truth or dare questions.
That was hard I told him that. I came up with a bunch of drink powers, drink rules, and I went, the other one, I got nothing. I don't know. I didn't see the other one recently enough to say.
And I thought mine were pretty good, but because Harrington presented John's first, they sounded like AI.
Oh, that's funny.
And then when he presented mine, they were like, oh, did AI make these too? And it's like, no, I put thought into these.
So John's
these are
were
personal
AI?
to no, but his were like more general, the type of fucking hypotheticals that you hate.
Oh.
And mine were like person specific.
Right. So then did Harrington correct them?
No.
Oh, wow. Setting the record straight here. Damn.
Well,
setting the
he
record
kind
straight.
of did, but it was too late.
Oh.
They weren't gonna buy. They were too drunk to buy it.
Well, they were too drunk to remember anyway.
But and then they wouldn't like they would like.
If you didn't do this to me last week, I wouldn't be making fun of you.
That's what I always do to my siblings at home.
You do it to me
Whenever-
now too. He sees me
whenever-
like a sister.
Whenever my siblings criticize me, I go, where, mommy?
That's different.
Mommy.
That's different than what you're doing.
So Rob and Shannon, the questions I asked of them were like, it was implying their chemistry,
Sure.
but it didn't. They could have answered it how they wanted to.
Right.
What I wrote for Rob was like, do you have any regrets about where the relationship you have with Shannon currently
It's
is?
a good question.
And then Shannon goes, "Oh, what does that imply? That we like each other?" And I'm like, "Yes." Has this not been a running bit for 2 years? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, of course. What do you mean? What does that imply?
Clip this.
Brother.
Clip this. Send it to her.
And then I thought the one I wrote for Saglo was good too, but he wasn't too into him.
What was it?
What's the real reason that you won't do a podcast with Maddie Smith?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And he just put all the blame on Maddie.
Hey, Brendan.
Yes.
Better mood yet?
What is the real reason you
I don't
won't
think she is.
you won't host a podcast with Maddie Smith?
What's the real reason I won't?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you've got your information mixed up there, Grok. Because I was down.
This is not AI.
So, Brendan, are you saying Maddie is the problem?
she didn't. We were gonna do it, but she backed out. So it wasn't her. It was. I mean, it wasn't me. It was her. But it all worked out in the end. We each have our own separate, unsuccessful podcasts. So
I heard that was true.
Yeah, but if he wanted to, he could have made it happen.
I feel like that is what you do want out of him, to not go, diplomatic, there were our differences. He went, nah, she was a fucking problem. Like, why would you not want him to answer like that? That's more juicy.
I guess. But yeah, I was also hoping for I wrote embarrassing road stories from Dan Soder since they've been going on tour together, and he was
That's
like,
good.
we actually just sit in our hotel rooms all day, and I'm like, no, you don't.
I believe that they do.
You have a whole there's YouTube video evidence of them doing things during the day together. It's a whole video series they have on Dan Soder's channel.
They're like, yeah, sometimes we go to a famous sandwich restaurant.
Yes, or like a museum of sorts. They go on little cute comedian dates.
There's nothing embarrassing about that, though.
But I'm saying they are not just sitting in their hotel room all day.
Mike is personally
I was
upset
offended
with everyone
at the
on
criticism
this episode.
of my questions that I put thought into
Yeah.
when I had an hour. I thought for the time that I was given, I not only came with good Legion of Drinks triggers, but also good questions. And
Did any of your triggers end up? Did I ask that already?
Yeah, it was like Brendan is self-deprecating,
Oh, it's a good one.
and Figs references Vinny, like a couple of
Ooh,
others
that's a
of
good
those.
one. That's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Great episode. Classic GaS lore. One of those.
Ooh, yeah, some of that. I mean, what did you think of the episode overall?
I liked it. I had fun with it. I had to miss a lot of it because I was setting up a rental, but I liked what I caught. Also, there was a bee in here. That's some studio lore. I came in and Harrington's trying to prop the door open and he goes, "There's a bee in here." And I go, "What?" I go, "All right, leave that door open when it comes," because he was trying to leave
Baby James isn't supposed to be here until Thursday. There's a bee in here.
I get it. I got it. You didn't need to say that part. I got it. and you just stumbled and fell and tripped over it so bad that I was just gonna let it go.
Jorge liked it in the booth.
Did Jorge like it in the booth?
laughing.
He's not even there. He's not even listening to the headphones. There was a bee in here, a bumblebee, or probably not a bumblebee, a honeybee, perhaps. Harrington's allergic, so he was kind of freaking out, and he tried to set the actual door to the outside open, and I was like, "Oh, great! Now we're not gonna have one bee. We're gonna have 8 flies." And he's like, "Oh, fine, you're right." And he just shut it. And then John literally saved the day, scooped it, and brought it outside. John was the hero. That's it.
That's Are you scared of bees?
Not with any amount of urgency. I don't like bees. But if I was at the desk, I think I could stay calm and figure out a game plan pretty well.
I was surprised at how quickly Shannon switched from being like, "Don't tell me what the bug is," to "Oh, it's a bee, that's fine."
Well, yeah,
And then
obviously
Harrington
if it's
goes, "I'm allergic."
Yeah. Obviously if it's not a cockroach, Shannon doesn't care. And she's not here, so I can say that word. If I saw a roach in this, I've done that. There was one time during, and I've told this before, one time during Without a Country when it was me and Harrington, that one scurried across the desk, and I just stood up and I was like, "Get rid of it." And he like handled it for me.
There was
He
one
was a real one for that.
during Christos's show.
That episode hasn't aired yet, but yes, I think I talked about that on this show when it happened. That one like fell onto his back, and he, in the grand scheme of things, handled himself very well. But he did go into Studio B and take all his shirts off to make sure it wasn't still on him, and it wasn't. It was on the ground.
I was surprised at how composed they were by the end of the episode.
For how drunk they were?
Because last time
Yeah.
they were a lot more of a mess.
I remember
Going
that.
off of past track history, they have not been as composed. So
That's true.
it made for, I would say, it made for more of a fun show, I think, because they were conscious
Yes, I
Of-
agree with that.
their thoughts and actions.
True.
'Cause sometimes it can, when it gets to
Too loopy, too slurry.
yeah, that shit show, it's just not even fun to watch.
I agree with that. We can move on.
What should we do a birthday show?
Well, your birthday's in November and mine is in May, so probably. What's the exact halfway point of both of our birthdays? Probably like July, August.
Who's the next birthday?
That's a great question. I know we have a bunch in September, or we have a couple in September. Harrington and I are both in May. You're in November. Jorge's and Alex are in January, and Frank is in September. Shannon's is obviously June. Who am I missing? Ralph's is like December. There's no summer birthdays. Who's the summer birthday here? If you're in the chat and you're offended that I don't know your birthday, let me know.
Brandon.
I would like to correct that. If there's a June or July birthday, please let me know. Oh, another June, obviously. Or July or August, I guess. Anyway, you want to tell me about Skanks?
Yeah. So this is venturing into territory that you
Hate.
might not be enthusiastic about,
On this show or on their show?
but this is something we've covered before. And I'm trying to think of a different way to approach it, to be honest.
So you mean the content of this show that is about to happen, historically I have not liked.
So on Legion of Skanks, they discussed Pimp My Ride,
Oh.
which we've already on this show talked
Yes.
about how we would pimp our rides.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that necessarily needs to be revisited, but I feel like there is something we could talk about with that.
Well, paint a picture. Who was on and why did this come up?
Giannis Pappas was on, and they were talking about. It started out with them like talking about Waymos,
Oh, yeah.
and then they were like, "That would be funny if they pimped out a Waymo."
Been hearing about, I did not know that name until like 2 weeks ago. I knew that there were self-driving taxis in California, but I could not have told you the word Waymo until like 4 days ago, and it's come up in like 5 different contexts. I like the fact, it's funny to me, the fact that in LA, protesters keep ordering Waymos and setting them on fire.
Yeah.
Somebody stop sending them. Like, they have to know at this point.
Well, I mean,
It's so funny.
they can't just stop altogether. It's a city of 7 million people or whatever.
I know. It's just funny to me. And I'm literally going to read it, and I'm going to cut. Oh, I bet I fucking got rid of it. Whatever. Damn it.
They were also talking about recently on Morning Zoo. I don't know if you saw, but the other mobiles
What's
besides
that?
the Oscar Meyer Wiener
Yes.
mobile.
Yes. I do remember that.
I was shocked at how many there were.
Yeah.
There was like the Ugg mobile or something.
Yeah, the like LL Bean one.
Yeah.
Maybe not LL Bean. It was
was
something
LL
like
Bean.
that.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
like the LL Bean Ugg mobile or whatever.
Yeah. It was like a shoe, a boot. It was not an Ugg, because those are different brands. But yes, that's so funny to be like, so you're saying what shape would I want my car to be?
No, I'm just trying to think of how we like. There's something about Pimp My Ride, but I don't know.
I would like to make mine a banana. I think that's a good aerodynamic shape for a car to be.
Yeah.
Or like a, I got cart on the brain, one of those cannons, the bullets.
So
That's what I want my car to look like.
yeah, the funny thing is, it like Jay was saying, one of the criticisms of it was like they were always like too weirdly specific to the person.
I agree.
Where it's like, oh, you're a radiologist, so we put a fucking X-ray
Cancer
machine
machine
in your car. And it's like, if that was you, then they would put a fucking Fountain of Wayne in it. Or
I was trying to
something.
figure out yours. It's like what yours would be like a phone.
How dare you?
What Mike do except eat hot sauce, make clip, and lie.
I don't lie.
No, he doesn't lie, but he does all those other things.
Well, I enjoy cars.
You do enjoy car. For a guy that can't see,
So a car within a car, it's cars all the way down.
he just wants a car that looks like Lightning McQueen.
Yuck.
Why is that not your favorite character? I also keep seeing the memes about getting the Waymos and setting them on fire, and someone goes, "Yeah, it seems pretty cool, but now imagine we were in the Cars universe. Not so funny anymore, is it?" What mobile would you want to have? What shape car would you want it to be? We're tying this into what show? Was it Zach's show that was talking
Morning
about that?
Zoe.
It was Morning Zoe.
The Zaza. Morning Zaza.
It was a couple weeks ago at this point, but
It was literally like last week.
either way, it's not the week we're supposed to be talking about.
All right, well then,
I want to know what would you put in your car? Would you want a self-driving car? If you could drive and you could have a car and you could afford a car, would you want it to be self-driving?
yeah.
Really? You would rather it be self-driving than not?
I don't trust myself. I'm so
Oh, interesting.
even if I had perfect vision, I'm so ADHD. I'm just afraid I'm gonna get distracted by listening to "There's always something there to remind me." Da-na-na-na-na. And then all of a sudden an 18-wheeler T-bones me.
I almost got in an accident today. It was not my fault. It was the other person's fault. I wouldn't be telling the story if it was my fault. I'd be too embarrassed because that happens sometimes. I was merging from the far right lane into the middle lane, and someone was jumping full speed from the far left lane to the exit
Yo.
in front of me. And this always happens to me, and it makes me angry. Although maybe for my self-preservation, it's better that my instinct is to swerve out of the way. Because I was already looking over my shoulder. I knew no one was directly behind me. is to swerve away from them and not to honk. And I'm like, they deserve to honk. They fucking Jersey slide over from the far left to the far right and almost hit me.
Okay. To be fair, though, Jersey has those weird fucking highways where you can just literally exit from the highway into whatever mall you're going to.
That's not where I was. This is how I get to work every time I drive in. This is not like a special circumstance. It was by the Clifton Commons.
That's what I mean. That's like where like you can just
Yeah, but
like...
it was not the exit into the Clifton Commons.
Oh.
It was like one of the other exits further up.
Sometimes you forget where you're going, or
Take the next
the
one.
map was wrong.
But you're not allowed to do that. Unless you have a full opening. You shouldn't be allowed to swerve and almost hit me because you almost missed your exit. You should have been in the middle, dog.
You
Stuff
never
you would know
know
if you drove.
perspective. You never know how their day was.
I hate you. You're doing it on purpose to be contrarian.
What if there was a cop?
Then they should have got pulled over for their shitty driving. Why would that make it better? You look high. The face you were making, you were like, what if there was a cop?
I look like Lola Wayne on the Carter 6.
Yes. I don't think I would want a self-driving car.
Why not? What are you afraid of?
I don't trust it. And I will say, being in Jersey, there's a lot of construction that sucks, where the lines are not directly. I'm sure they've gotten a lot better at that, but I don't trust that they're able to tell the lines that we're supposed to be in between while there's construction going on, you know?
Do you know? Oh, sick. I've looked into self-driving cars,
Okay.
as it is something that I am interested in. They use lasers and LiDAR.
Oh.
So it doesn't really matter where the lines are because they're
Just keeping a distance from the...
they're measuring how far away the laser bounces and comes back to the sensor.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter where the lines are.
My other connection to Waymos this week, besides the riots, were I was listening to Shank, and she had your boy Josh Potter on, and he was talking about
Hey,
it. He's
yeah.
like, I haven't taken enough Waymos that I can comfortably be relaxed on my phone. I'm always like, they're turning, it's turning. I'm like, yeah, I think that would be me too. I think it would take a long time to get used to it. I don't know. I guess I could get used to it, but I also enjoy driving. I don't want to reset the directions if I feel like driving.
I've been in the car with you, and it's terrifying. And I'm not even saying you specifically are a bad driver, but just
being in a car in New
situations
Jersey.
that have presented themselves because we're driving have been frightening.
There's no way that being in a self-driving car is going to completely get rid of that.
Yes,
unless...
because it predicts. It can predict things better. It has a faster response time than a human.
It doesn't predict things. That's where you're wrong. Is that Josh Potter was also saying that. He's like, they're not allowed on Sunset Boulevard because it's too chaotic at the moment. There's too many variables that it can't handle. Like, so it's not thinking twice as well as us. It's just good at not, running through stop signs and stuff like that.
But I'm saying, even if it can't predict something, its reaction time is still faster than a human's.
I suppose. Unless you get T-boned. It's not...
And you are going to be able to avoid getting T-boned?
No.
Exactly, so... I don't see what the difference is.
I guess. I don't know. I stand by my main reason being that sometimes I want to just drive around and I don't want it to tell me I don't want to have to tell it a location to drive to. I want to just be able to decide.
What's the Waymo body count at right now? 5?
It's much lower than regular drivers. You're right.
Think
it
Waymos
is much safer.
No,
than
this is my
human drivers.
anti-Waymo now. I'm saying I think it's killed 5 people. Like it's
and
just
humans
ran
have killed
over.
like I'm pretty sure that like the human mortality rate from human drivers is way fucking higher.
Cars don't kill people. People kill people or something.
Let's move
Or
on.
a joke where, well, all right. I also thought it was funny that they were like, Big J was criticizing that like it's a burden. The Pimp My Ride is a burden.
Yes. Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Where
too.
it's like, great, now I just have to drive around with a piano.
Yeah, I have to drive around with a fish tank, and now I have fish that I have to feed.
Are you familiar with the Biggest Loser contest before we move on?
Yes, I am. I saw some of it.
We had some units in it. We had some of Sean Gardini's friends in this week.
The only ones that I saw were the first two from Kim and Ollie's episode. And one was a guy who was a libertarian, so that makes him way loserer.
The one that came in this week, Natalie, he had tits on his
they're taking new ones?
Yeah, they had the last of the submission. Natalie,
They had to open it up.
this guy had tits on his chest.
Where else are tits?
Or sorry, balls on his tits.
One more time. Try to win a third
He
time.
had balls on his tits. It was crazy.
Okay, what
he
does
had
that
these
mean?
big fucking weird lumps right below where his tits would be.
Why should I win these tickets? Here's the main reason why. I'm not the biggest loser, but
Pause it.
You know what?
I have fucked a
I
woman
take
with
it
that
all
exact
back.
body.
The thing that is infuriating me about this guy is that he gives his whole fucking thing about why he's the biggest loser. None of it hits home. It's all ridiculous. Then he takes his shirt off, and we all go, "Oh, that's the thing."
Yeah.
Then he never addresses it. What are the balls of your tits, man?
Dude, this guy
What
is
is that?
That sucks.
He had
he
the
have cancer or
strangest
something?
No, he just had a strange body.
Was he also a loser, or was he just big?
Both.
Wow, good for him. I hope he wins. Can you move that way so that you're not so profile to the camera when you're talking to me? There we go. I'm thinking thumbnail here. I'm thinking when I'm going to get a
Yeah.
still of you later. There you go. Great. Very good. Thank you. Now you can see both his eyes.
I wish I could see him.
Let's move on. I want to talk about American Loser. I forgot to double check what that dude's name was. However,
American Biggest Loser.
an American. Oh, did you have anything else for Biggest Loser?
The
Powell.
Here, let me move over.
No, you're fine. I adjusted it for you.
The competition was stiff this week. As
A lot of
in-
big fat losers.
Yeah, it was the who's who of who.
Got it.
It was real sad.
Yeah. That's the goal. That is
But
the
like
goal.
almost in a competitive way.
Good.
Where they were like, if you think whatever that person is bad, check out this body. And
So it's like, oh my fucking God. If I didn't kill it, I'm going to off myself. Sorry.
clip that.
Was there a gnat hovering? Not me. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Is there a fruit fly hovering around anyone else, or is it just me? Nightmare. Anyway.
I think that there is I think there's an anger hovering around Nat.
That drives me crazy.
So, yeah, my favorite so far has been the guy with the balls.
Ball
on his
tits.
Yeah. I mean, that guy deserves a Medal of Honor for just what...
Showing his tits.
It was funny because they were like, on paper, this guy is not, like...
That
his
bad?
life isn't that bad.
Right.
But then he takes his shirt off, and women would walk out of his apartment.
Oof. That's losery.
Like on paper, this guy should be doing okay, but then you take like his body makes up completely for how big of a loser he is.
Maybe he'll win. Maybe he'll win.
Potentially. Well, big ups. Big up.
Yeah.
Bro. So American Loser, they were talking about Klaus Kinski.
Klaus Kinski.
Is that who you were looking for?
Yes, it is.
Is that the name?
And Shannon was on this episode,
Ding.
so it was a great one. One real quick. Pretty sure maybe she hasn't said it publicly, but Shannon said at the beginning, KP was like, I don't know how it was in your household, but I was not allowed to play violent video games in my house. And Shannon goes, I'm a girl. We didn't do that.
I don't know if you kind of grew up similar how I did. My mom hated violent video games. I wasn't allowed to play violent video games.
I'm a girl. Like, we didn't really play violent video games.
And I go, that's such a lie. I'm pretty sure Shannon is a huge Mortal Kombat fan and named her cat Jax after Jax from Mortal Kombat. So Shannon, follow up on that. And I texted Harrington that, and he goes, no, I thought it was from Sons of Anarchy. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I remember her saying Mortal Kombat because I was surprised. But I think that's true. Anyway, Shannon, fight me on that. Just kidding. Shannon, follow up and let me know if that's true, if I'm remembering that correctly. But
we are dissecting Shannon on this episode.
We are
really
that's true.
tearing her apart.
Accidentally. Anyway, this guy Klaus wrote an autobiography that other people who knew him said was full of shit.
It was the things they carried for Nazis.
Is that famously known as like a thing that was made up?
Yeah.
So was Go Ask Alice. Do you remember Go Ask Alice?
It was like if AI wrote like a Vietnam vet book.
Yeah, so basically this guy was like, yeah, I grew up poor and I got drafted to be a Nazi soldier and I hated it.
And then a tree grew in Brooklyn.
And it was all lies. It was all lies. So I wanted to know if you were going to write your own autobiography and fill it full of lies, what would you say? I would say that I knew I was gay way earlier.
Oh?
Because that's not true at all. I would say I knew I was into women as a child so that I would have more credibility as a bisexual.
Why do you want more credibility of being gay?
Because I feel like I have imposter syndrome about my sexuality. A lot. Not anymore. It doesn't. Now that I'm not on rap, people aren't addressing my sexuality anymore, especially now that I have a boyfriend.
Well, yeah, because they want to undress your sexuality.
Very good, Mike. Very good. I would also say that I came up poorer. Because we did all right. I did all right.
From the
we went on vacation.
The trenches.
Sometimes.
You had a fucking vacation house.
We had a vacation house in the Poconos that I had to get rid of during the recession. Yeah.
You had a vacation house.
We did. Yeah.
Privileged white woman.
That's what I'm saying. I would lie about that and say I was really poor.
Then, if we're going off of your metrics, your dumb, fucking, like, what do you call it? What do you call it?
Describe it. Also repeat this.
Your brownie point. You're like brownie point looking for fucking.
Oh,
bullshit.
you don't have
Mine
to.
would be I would be blinder.
You would have been blinder. You got surgeries.
Yeah, well, I would have been even blinder than that, just so that people would give me props.
Something Olympics. oppression Olympics.
Yes, that's what you're going for. I would do cool shit. Be like, nah, he knew the drums. He can fly a helicopter. He's got his
I would lie about
helicopter
some
license.
of that stuff too. I would say I was a lot more skilled at more things for sure.
I would Forrest Gump my book, where I'd be like, he won the curling championship in 1977.
Oh
even though he
yeah,
wasn't born yet.
I would say I came up from a tough life, but that I was better at more things.
I would say that I
would say that I overcame more adversity.
I would read. I read to underprivileged elderly.
Oh, that's nice. You should do that in real life. You should just do that. There was a lot of stuff in this about Werner Herzog, which brought me back
Who
to my
is that
filming.
guy?
He's a filmmaker.
Is he?
Yeah.
What is he famous for?
All of the KP listed 8 movies that this dude made.
I never heard of any of these shits.
You've never heard of Nosferatu?
Not really. I
That's
thought that just
crazy.
came out.
Boo! Boo!
I really did just think it just came out.
Boo! You thought it was a book before that, or you thought that he invented it?
I thought it just came out.
You thought they just invented Nosferatu?
I thought Nosferatu was a guy, and they were like, it's about damn time we make a movie about this feller.
You don't remember the one throwaway gag in SpongeBob about Nosferatu with the hash slinging slasher? Really?
That was from Nosferatu?
They say no. They call out Nosferatu for flickering the lights at the end.
Do they?
Yeah. What the fuck? You're poking me on purpose.
I'm not.
You're absolutely poking me that on purpose.
I thought this was the first time
Here,
they were
I'm gonna
actually
look this
making
up
a
right now.
movie about this.
Here, I'm gonna look this
gentleman.
up right now. I don't expect you to know who Werner Herzog is.
What are his other movies? If it's not,
They're all shit that you would know of if you went to film school. That's the problem.
Gross. If it's not
Um,
Transformers 2, how the fuck would I know it?
Oh, he's actually done a lot more recent movies than I thought. Yeah, Grizzly Man also, I feel like you might have known.
I know Cocaine Bear.
No.
No, just no.
Oh, Cave of Forgotten Dreams is the only one that I've seen beginning to end. The other ones are like stuff that my ex would talk about, especially the one he was describing that actually took place in the Amazon that was like filmed on location. I remember my ex talking about. Because her dad was also like a huge film buff dude, so he would have those like ripped on DVDs in a library, that type of shit. So it jogged my memory back to some stuff that I remember talking about. Just the fact that like, what was the one that he says at the end where he's like he ended up being, damn it, whatever. Anyway, this is a good episode, and
I would write my
I'm
book-
always enthralled by American Loser.
My autobiography would be about how I knew Werner Herzog movies.
Yes.
Herzog, I said, by the way.
I know, I heard. I wasn't going to say anything.
Did he do Jumanji?
No.
Then how would I know?
But there was a part that they talk about that is similar to Jumanji. They make a Jumanji reference in the episode.
So, I liked from the episode Shannon sharing her cheating story.
I've actually heard her tell
Her
that before.
investigative story.
With the keylogger. Yeah, I've heard her tell that story before. It's a great story.
There was one guy that I caught in like a really long-term lie where it's like we were living together. We were together for like 3 years at this point. And I had always seen someone on his phone and the name was Shorty. And I assumed he was kind of like he was a street guy. And I assumed this is one of his like ghetto friends or whatever. And I never even thought twice about it until one day I went through, as I moved into his apartment, and I went through our cordless phone at home because I'm 100 years old. So it's a long time ago, cordless phone.
Cordless,
At
now
least
we're
it was
talking.
cordless. It was not like I put like by the way, I'm 100, everybody. So this is a long time ago. This is how we like hacked people's stuff back then. I put a keylogger onto his computer to figure out his password. So it like logged what keys you pressed. So I figured out the password to get into his email, went into his email, found out that Shorty was the girlfriend that he was with before me and had been with her throughout our entire relationship, 3 years.
How far would you go?
If I thought someone was cheating on me to the point where I couldn't calm down, I would just break up with them. Like I wouldn't stay if it was like ruining me where I was constantly thinking about it and constantly worrying about it, I'd be like, I deserve peace. So I would just break up. I wouldn't need to prove it to break up with them.
Well, don't check my Instagram, fellas.
If you're cheating on me, I would be very impressed.
Damn. Cut that.
Not that people like you, that I didn't observe it, that you were doing a good enough job having a double life.
It's because I don't shower.
Why is it because you don't shower?
Can't get it. I can't cheat if I don't shower.
I don't think that's entirely true. Also, you do shower. Your hair is clean, I could tell.
I'm attracting flies, if you remember from earlier in this episode.
I'm attracting flies. It's because my perfume smells like dessert.
So is that movie that KP talked about, the weird Spanish one, actually like the top 100 movies in film school or whatever?
I bet it is.
Well, you went to film school. I figured they would talk about it.
They don't have, there's not one list.
There's not Joe List?
There's not, well, there's one Joe List. But there's not one central list that all academic words, oh my God, that all academic pillars look to like decide who it's so subjective. I believe it though, that at the time it was on like the top 100 movies.
Yeah, this guy was strange.
Oh yeah.
I like that Werner Herzog, they still the most fascinating part to me
I know what you're gonna say.
Of this whole episode was the fact that they still worked together even though they did not like each other.
They not only didn't like each other, they still worked together even though he considered setting his house on fire with him still in it. And then the dog started barking. He was like, drat.
I guess I gotta unwrap this guy's Christmas presents.
Yeah. Exactly. The fact that they hated each other but like both wanted to make good art doesn't surprise me that they would end up continuing to work together.
Do you think that
weird artists are like that?
Do you think that there are currently
duos like that
today that we don't know about
yet?
yet?
Absolutely.
Dan and Phil.
No, they live together, dog.
Because they're gay?
Yes.
Really?
They are gay, yeah.
What the fuck?
That's so funny. That I had to tell that on. Did I say this on the show already, or did I say it to Jorge off air? I was on Becca's fan fiction podcast, and I said Dan and Phil, who are YouTubers that I used to be into like 12 years ago, and no one at the table of 4 hosts knew who I was talking about. And I went, the problem is that like the fangirlies of One Direction, etc., we're always like, those two are gay, they're secretly gay, they love each other, they're fucking each other, the girlfriends are just like so many different fandoms that teen girls liked at the time were like, they're gay, except the problem was that with Dan and Phil, they ended up being right. And I was like, it set back the fangirl community 30 years.
Oh.
The fact that they were like, these two are gay and they were correct about it was detrimental.
Because now they all
to the fangirl community.
There's some objectivity to it.
Yeah.
But some real ones, like, I don't know, do we think
like any
Run the Jewels, maybe LP and Fat Mike aren't actually friends?
It's possible. I mean, a reference that no one here or watching will care about is that Carrie and Samantha from Sex and the City hated each other, and that's why Samantha wasn't in the new reboot.
Really?
Yeah. I like that as a concept. You can get why that's significant, even though you've never seen it.
Huh.
The fact that 2 of the 4 friends that spend every day together hated each other.
Yeah, that's like if Jason Alexander hated Jerry Seinfeld.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, as far as like director and actor, the only one that I'm remembering is Johnny Depp and Tim Burton hated each other. That's not true. I'm speculating. That would be an interesting one. A comparable one.
You know, Johnny Depp actually hated Katie Holmes. No, what's her fucking face?
Nope. Keep going.
Katie.
I don't think it was Katie.
Carrie.
Who?
Candy.
Nope. Doesn't start with K or C. If you're going in the direction that I think that you're going,
I don't remember fucking.
I'm gonna let you fight through it, or you can describe to me who you're referencing. The lady that he had a huge legal brawl with.
Do we think that Penn and Teller hate each other? Is that why?
It's Amber Heard, by the way.
Oh, Amber Heard. It's not Katie Holmes.
No, it's not Katie Holmes. Penn and Teller.
Is
To
that
have
why?
a duo that appears together would be crazy to hate each other.
Is that why Teller never talks, or is it the other one?
He's like, I can't say. I actually don't know of the two of them which one doesn't talk. But that would be funny to have like a duo that goes on stage together that hates each other. I'm really bothered by the fact that this is not even. That there's like a bunch of, you can see them here. There's a bunch of notches that are incorrect, and it's really bothering me. Can't beat the autism allegations.
I'm pretty sure it's like come out now. Like all the Shark Tank people hated each other.
That
right?
makes sense though, because that's like a panel where you just show up, act together, and then you kind of leave.
Yeah.
They also are competing with each other on the show.
Sure.
It's not like they're on the same team.
That's true.
But that kind of sucks
But
to be like, I hate my co-host every day.
You still have to show up with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can you
And
imagine
you have
if we
to have
hated each other off air?
a similar consensus on how to conduct business.
Can you imagine if we hated each other off air?
We do. Kafabe.
I still need to look up where that word comes from. I know what it means.
Kayfabe.
Yes.
It's like a pro wrestling term.
I know that. Where did the word come from? I asked you this recently, and you had like you're like, it was ancient Greek or something.
It sounds Greek, doesn't it? It's like from play. It's from play. It's like from like Greek plays. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I'm Googling that. Anyway, we're almost completely out of time. What do we have left?
I bet young Sheldon hated regular Sheldon.
Talk about True Dat. Also, that's hilarious because they were never on screen at the same time, obviously.
That was a self-deprecating joke.
Tell us about True Dat.
Yo, so True Dat, first episode, they talked about one of the only true crime stories that captivated the island of Hawaii, the singular island of Hawaii. And as they're finding their footing, they were sharing a bunch of different stories. One of the most captivating ones to me was also Naeem knowing a lady who had like a cane that had a sword in it, and she stabbed someone.
Sorry, repeat that. I was looking up the word kayfabe.
And
it's believed to come from Carney speak for be fake.
from
Comes
Natalie
from the Latin cavere, to keep cave, which is slang for to keep care or be careful, and also the origin from the French term qui vive, to be vigilant before battle.
to be vigilant.
Anyway, sorry, a lady stabbed with a sword.
Yeah, so Naeem told a story about how he knew someone whose mom had a cane that was secretly
A sword?
a sword or a sharp object of sorts that they, in an altercation, stabbed someone and went to jail for it.
No shit. That's a good one.
Would you... I know you have your little heart guy on your backpack, or should I not say that out loud?
No, you can say that I have a... That's not a weapon. That's an alarm.
But would you ever have, like, a weapon like that?
Sure.
If it was legal in New York City.
I think that's the best way to do it, because although the problem is that I guess with a cane, it would have to be like, it doesn't go that deep into the long part of the cane. It would just, I'm holding the hooked part here. You like twist and open, and then the hooked part has a little knife at the end. I think would be the only logical way. Because if it's like a sword that you have to take out,
yeah, twist.
That's too cumbersome. No, it's not about the twist. It's about the length of it. It's about the unsheathing of it. If it takes a long time to unsheath it, it draws attention and it loses you time.
Uh-huh.
I would much rather have a keychain that looks like a comb that has a knife in it. You know, it's quicker and subtler.
Yes. So what I've always thought is making a weapon out of a fake umbrella.
I was thinking umbrella too. But same thing, I would want it to be a short weapon at the handle of the umbrella rather than a long thing that goes all the way into it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I was thinking umbrella as well. Because also, and I've said this on the show before, but men, I don't know if this is still a true statistic, but men who would attack women on the street said that they're, like, who were, like, interviewed in jail were, like, not likely to pick a victim who was holding a long what could be a blunt weapon, like an
Yes.
umbrella. So I think holding an umbrella in general makes me feel safer. Or I
They
used to
want
have
easy
one.
targets.
Yeah, someone who doesn't have something in their hand that could be used as a weapon already. I used to like when I would be going on public transit to like a gig, like an audio gig, and I had my boom pole, which is like at its smallest is like probably this big, and it was like I just had a staff. That was cool.
If I learned anything from Ocean's 11, it's that you should always be able to bump into someone to be able to
That
take
was a cool
something.
one. That was a
There
cool
was
one.
a couple of times that happened.
That's that's pickpocketing skill. That's not something that anyone can do. That's a skill.
Yeah.
The gang gets good at pickpocketing. Should you get good at pickpocketing and I'll get good at picking locks? Because that's the thing that I would really want to be able to do.
Oh, like in Miss March where the lesbians lick the doorknob and it opens.
I've never seen Miss March.
Yeah.
I just like the lock picking lawyer, if anyone is familiar. He's the man.
Oh, yeah.
He's great, right?
You talked about this before.
Oh, you never watched him? He's great.
You showed me him.
If you want 4 minutes of content 1,000 times, he's really good for that. Everyone's like, oh, the video is 6 minutes long. That must have really given him a hard time. Anyway, I think it'd be cool to know how to pick locks for real.
What about carrying a brick around if you want a blunt object or a cinder block?
It's a little cumbersome, and it's a little, dare I say, heavy.
Keychain.
I want you to say a full sentence. I want you to spell it out.
You should take. I think it would be smart to defend against assailants to carry a brick that you can hurt the assailant with
on a keychain.
Bluntly on a keychain.
We have 2 minutes before HSR needs to start their pre-stream.
Oh, where's Chris?
No one's here yet. That being said,
My last thing I'll say
Okay.
about True Dat is Naeem also told a very hilarious story about when he was in high school. He used to break into people's houses and rearrange their furniture.
When I was in high school, I would get high as shit, right? And then like I would cut school and break into people's houses, and then I would just like rearrange all their shit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like I wouldn't even steal shit. I wouldn't take nothing.
Wait, you would just go in and like rearrange their house?
I would take shit everything out the living room and put it in the dining room, and take everything out the dining room, put it in the living room.
So this is just to fuck with them. You weren't like cleaning.
Yes.
I for some reason pictured it as you just went in to clean. You're like, their house is messy.
No.
I have to clean this.
Just rearrange shit. Just move furniture around.
that's great. That's
and
very
then
funny.
take nothing.
That's funny. That's really funny. Because I also wouldn't know if something was taken.
But like you're like,
They must have taken something.
Right.
That's hilarious. That's really funny. All we have left is sorry, finish your
Go
thought.
on.
All we have left is HSR the Insurrection.
We
What
don't
did you
have
have
to talk
about
about
that?
that.
Other than go watch it. It's a legendary, a modern classic HSR episode from last week. So it's got Zach, it's got KP, so there's a connection to Zoo and Spook Show and American Loser. I also like the fact that Harrington fact checked KP on a movie fact on American Loser, and KP was like, "Would you have Zach Amico on the horn?" He just has a pager that alerts him anytime someone's saying a niche movie fact incorrectly.
yeah.
I liked that part a lot. Anyway, this has been GaS Digital Now, the GaS Digital wrap-up show. You should follow this show on YouTube at GaS Digital Now on YouTube.
By the way, there's going to be a big episode of Skanks next week because it's Colin Terrell's bachelor party, so stay tuned for that.
I might even go. You're going to be in Philly.
I'll be there.
You'll be there? All right, I might be there too. And I might get some donut holes.
I got a donut hole for you right here, pal.
Follow me at Natalie DeCicco Edits on Instagram, DECICCO_edits. Watch that episode of Becca's podcast with me on it. Listen to my other podcast, That's Hot.
Did you like Shrek, by the way? Do you enjoy Shrek?
The original? Yeah. I like the second one, too. After that, you lost me, but the first two were great.
Did you like Zach's lore on it?
No, I didn't see it. What was it?
He was talking about the origins of Farquaad.
Yes, that was incredible. Thank you for reminding me that. I'm just going to cut that in here. And it's okay if it cuts through the plugs a little bit, because it's really interesting.
What was the other one? It was about, not Puss in
Donkey.
Boots. Yeah,
It was about Donkey and where he came from. He came from the Pinocchio Island, and he was Pinocchio's friend that stayed a donkey. What should people follow, and where can people find you?
Follow the Gas Digital socials at Gas Digital on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. We're posting a bunch of classic clips that have been really fun. And it's not Josh, it's me doing them. So keep giving Josh credit, though. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But just so I get the good boy points for them, subscribe to the YouTube there at Gas Digital Network on YouTube, and subscribe here because we're going to be doing a Q&A and a tell-all reveal.
Yeah, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers. So go over there, subscribe. We're at 714 or something. It is slowly increasing. This is working. So tell your friends. Go subscribe. Send a message. Get us there.
And follow me at That Blind Mike.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.